Thanks for joining me today as we are harvesting my very first herbs of the garden. I've got my dehydrator out. I have a Presto dehydrator and I used this last year to do my basil and it came out really nice. So I was very impressed with that. It's not the most expensive kind, but it does the job for what I need for my herbs. I have not tried it with fruits or vegetables yet. Perhaps this year will be the year. What I went ahead and did is I went ahead and got 3 of my canning jars, and I had some store-bought basil and oregano left over, so I went ahead and put those in the bottom of these jars, and I will put the dehydrated herbs on top, and that way I can condense the amount of containers that I have in my pantry and be able to have it all in one place. Going about 30 minutes, and this is the cilantro and it is dry. So basically what I do is I just take it and I just crumple it up and put it in the mason jar. Now I'm a novice at this, so if there's a better way of doing this, I would love for you to comment below, because I want to make sure that I'm doing it well and that it will produce a lot. Now I don't know why I keep mixing up oregano and cilantro. So I haven't harvested any oregano. I think I put a little cilantro in there, but it'll just do. So I'm putting that aside, and then I will be labeling my containers. So I'm gonna do the rest of this, and we're gonna check the basil here in just a minute. The basil needs to go a little bit longer, so I'm just gonna put this lid back on. Now this dehydrator, it doesn't have any settings on it, or it does have an on and off switch, but I didn't realize that. Learning. So I'm just plugging it in, and then I put a timer on for my smartwatch. I've been doing it every 10 minutes so that I don't over dry them. So I'm gonna put another 10 minutes on my smartwatch to get these started again. While the basil continues, I'm going to crush up these leaves. These are parsley. I'm really excited about the parsley because this is something I did not have in my pantry. I had typically used like the Italian seasoning from the grocery store, so now I can create my own with the basil, oregano, and this parsley. So I'm really excited about that. Again, I'm just crushing up with my hand, not the stem, just the leaves. And we'll see how much I've actually produced from this first cutting of the spring 2023 season. So from this first harvest of April 2023, I got almost a tablespoon of the parsley done. It looks like I got about 2 teaspoons of the cilantro. And a lesson learned is that I need to separate the actual basil leaves before putting on the dehydrator, because they didn't dry out as well. And I remember last year that I did that and I got a better result. So that's something that I learned and had to remind myself. Now the cilantro and the parsley were fine still on the stems, but with the basil, they're larger leaves. I'm gonna try that next time. So I only got probably a couple of teaspoons of the basil. Now a lot of this is the old that I had store-bought. I'm just gonna combine them together, shake them up, and be able to use that. Now I know these are quite large canning jars, but these were given to me free. So I'm gonna use what I have and be thankful for that. And you know, one could argue that this is not a great deal from the first harvest, but gardening is not something that maybe you will get a lot of results out of initially, I mean all at one time, especially early on. But you know, a tablespoon every time I harvest is going to add up and be able to carry us through the winter time. And that is something that, like basil, I use quite a bit. All the stuff that I harvested last year, I used before January 1 of this year, 2023. So I know that I'll be able to use that up. So I'm very pleased with what I harvested for the first time for the spring 2023 2023 garden. I'm so excited I can't even talk. And I'm looking forward to what my garden will yield in the weeks to come. Thanks so much for hanging out with me this morning as I did my first harvest. I am really pleased and excited. But again, if you have any suggestions or things that you've learned, again, I consider myself pretty much a beginner gardener. I've dabbled in it, you know, a little bit from year to year, but this is my biggest garden ever. So I would love to learn from you. Please comment below. Let me know what I could do better. So some suggestions you might have to be more effective and efficient in my garden. I would greatly appreciate it. Now I'm headed to work. I'd rather stay in my garden, but I'm really thankful for what I was able to accomplish this morning before I go in. And I'll put a video up here that you can watch until my next upload. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in my next video. Have a wonderful day.